much, Mrs. Gilliman. It's an honour to serve under you again. I'd like to also thank the Honourable Member for Weston-super-Mare for bringing this debate today. I wondered if there'd been a mix-up with the Chairman of Ways and Means who decides on these debates, but knowing the Chairman of Ways and Means and understanding the process as I now do, then I know that this isn't possible. And members may have attended today, and people may be watching this debate in anticipation of a debate on low-cost housing. Perhaps hoping to hear some more detail from the white paper that the government released yesterday, perhaps putting some more meat on the bones of this essential topic of low-cost housing. But it hasn't. This debate has been about a small proposal to tweak the planning system. I will address the Honourable Member's proposal in a moment, but first of all I will address the topic of the debate, which is low-cost housing, and the one that I expected to be speaking on. So, first, the overall supply of housing, which the Honourable Member has intended as an intention of his policy. Of course it's important because we have a shortage of housing in this country, as the Secretary of State said yesterday. In a pure supply and demand curve, one expects more supply to mean lower cost. And the obvious shortage of supply means higher cost. And that's exactly what's happened in the open market. So housing becomes more and more unaffordable for more and more people. And this has happened in the last 7 years. Under David Cameron, the UK built fewer homes than under any peacetime Prime Minister since 1923. The number of home-owning households rose by 1 million under the 97 to 2010 government, but it's fallen by 200,000 since 2010. And this shortage has meant the price of buying has risen and risen, out of the reach of even well-paid young people. And members here may have watched Newsnight last night, where there were reasonably well-paid young professionals who could not get on the housing market. And in my case in West London, working people earning reasonable salaries can't even afford to rent. And if they can just about to pay more than 50% of their income on rent, they haven't got any money to save up for a deposit. So, Mrs. Gillam, the market isn't delivering affordable homes to rent or to buy, except in some very economically deprived areas where there are more homes than there are people wanting to live in them. So, Mrs. Gillam, in most of England, as prices have risen, more and more people need some kind of subsidised low-cost housing. But since 2010, government funding for all types of affordable housing, there were 8 definitions of affordable housing in the white paper, but funding for all of these have been withdrawn, except for one, and that's first-time buyers. The level of new affordable house building has still managed to hit a 24-year low. Shared ownership and other low-cost home ownership homes built has fallen by 66% since 2010 to just 7,540 homes a year, meaning 34,170 fewer homes for the affordable home ownership built over the last 6 years than under the last 6 years of the Labour government. And then the Honourable Member for Kilmarnock and Loudon described in clear terms the problems and the potential solutions for actually delivering truly affordable low-cost housing. For social rented housing, official statistics show that the number of social rented homes that were started in 2009 to 10 was almost 40,000. But last year, in 2015-16, that was less than 1,000. From 40,000 to 1,000 of social rented homes being delivered, a fall of 98%, and the lowest since records have begun. My right honourable friend, the member for Wentworth and Dearne, said yesterday in the Chamber that private house builders, housing associations and councils need to be firing on all cylinders to build homes that we need, and councils need to be allowed to build again to meet the needs of local people. They are not allowed to do that at the moment.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend and neighbouring seat for giving way. Can I say that I agree with what she's saying, that this pile 'em high, sell 'em cheap and leave it to market forces solution doesn't sound enough. And when you do leave it to market forces, in a place like Ealing, people seem to use these high-rise homes that are going up as a very expensive piggy bank. They're not even living there. And we need more social housing, obviously, to counteract all this.
Yes, my honourable friend from a neighbouring seat is absolutely right, and I experienced this in my own constituency. We do still have homes that are built new and then never let, because they're seen as nothing more than an investment, and many of them are very high. So the latest affordable housing statistics show, as I said, that we've fallen to the lowest levels